I don't know who runs the WNBA, but I know if I ran it, rules would be changed, and the rules will follow exactly how the men's did it. Yeah. Speed your game up. You gotta remember, you have shooters, dribblers, passers, but because it's still this lock grit game, those players don't get to excel. Yeah.
Welcome on into another No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. Right over there, we got to shout out Turkaloo, and also the only team in the NBA to get glitter in on their uniforms, the Orlando Magic. They pull it off.
Stars.
But it's got the sparkle.
Mm-hmm.
But what's up, Gil?
What's happening? How you doing?
Rare occasion that you wear a hat, too.
I didn't get a haircut.
I know. You don't have to tell people that.
I mean, I'm just being
honest.
honest.
The Mamba mentality.
I'm just being honest.
And we have today another member. We did it to you again. Another guy from the East Coast.
Yes.
Dash. Do we have to give him your full name? We just
Dash.
We got this on the screen.
Cool. Yeah, I think.
Dash.
That's
all I know.
But you know, it's like, did you switch it up?
Athletics. Nah, I just go by Dash.
But like one of those things, like I just want to. It's a brand. You know what I mean?
I mean, just Dash Athletics.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I just go by Dash Athletics. Dash. You know what I'm saying? People like, yo, what you want to go by? Dash, man. Like everybody just know me by that.
But people need to know that why.
I mean, because my brand is Dash Athletics, and like that's what I started in New York, and it's been with me since I came to California, and it gave me a good little buzz, so I just keep going with it.
And where you are now, we got to say we knew you before that because you're the dude now. Yeah. You know, player development for the LA Sparks.
Yeah.
Also the guy, you ever see him the freshest wardrobe on the bench?
Yeah, you be clean, though. I ain't even gonna lie. You be
Don't think we didn't notice.
Yo,
you be clean.
I was waiting for somebody to notice
You be
it.
clean.
I'm like,
We
yo,
noticed.
come on,
You be
man.
clean.
Yeah, I had a few dudes.
I gotta say he didn't notice.
I know I did. I'm like,
never
they
once said
paying
that
you
to
good
me.
over there. They paying. I need to be a smart trainer. They paying you good.
Yo, you know what's so funny? Dressing like that had a lot of people asking me like, yo, they pay you like that? I'm like, don't worry about my pay, man. Like, you know, because, you know, I mean, man, like, I love dressing that way. And I think, like, it just gave me a chance, too, to, like, game day, you know, you look good, you feel good, and you go out there and try to do your best to play good together. So, man, it just became a part of, like, what I wanted to do, like, every day, fresh shoes.
But for people that need to know, we always knew you like this, sweats and you know gym clothes and whatnot. But from where you got to, right, that didn't happen overnight.
Nah,
and we
not
said
at
you're a
all.
guy from the East Coast, so Brooklyn, to be exact.
Yeah.
And you know, New York basketball here in LA, we've covered that before. But
Yeah.
for you, how did you get introduced to the game?
I mean, I remember, because I was born and raised in Trinidad, first and foremost. I came here, it was funny, yeah, it's a funny story. So like, you know, like every young kid growing up, like, you went to school, you got the girls, you got like, and then this guy came to me. I used to run track first. And that's really where Dash kind of like got going, just because of the speed thing, you know? I used to run track, and this dude was like, man, you gotta play basketball. I'm like, why? Like, he's like, all the girls love to hoop. Like, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? How did that even like a thing? Like, and he's like, I'm telling you. You know, so I started hooping. I'm not gonna lie. It's because of that reason first. I'm just being real. But then like, it just became like something that through all the hard times, like being here, like it became a place where I can release my stress and just feel free, feel like not judged. Like the game did something different for me, like where I felt like I belonged somewhere. Like, you know, the game had no judgment to it. Like when you in that ball by yourself, you know that feeling in the gym alone. Like it's not talking to you crazy. Like it's you in that ball, and I felt like it became a safe place for me. You know, so it changed into that, and it gave me something. Like it's crazy to say, bro, but it gave me something to live for. Like, cause I was at a point where I just felt like, man, like why am I here? I remember I used to go up to this gym in Jersey, Seton Hall University. They had a gym, and guys used to go up there and play pickup. And I used to just walk from like my apartment in Jersey straight up to the school to play pickup. And I remember like people used to be like, yo, man, you just walk around South Orange? Like, what are you doing? You just walking around? And I used to be like, it got to me, bro. Like, it got to me. It was at a point where I was just like, damn, they think I'm a bum. They think I'm trying to eat food at the cafeteria. Like, they like, look at him. Like, and it was weird, like, you know, but like, when I got inside the gym, like, I didn't hear none of that anymore. It's just the ball and you and the people that's playing. So that was like a real safe place. And then once I figured out, like, man, like my younger brother, he was really, like, he was a solid player growing up. Like, I think he had I thought he had a chance. Now knowing all that I know about the game, there's so much more that comes with it than being able to dribble and shoot. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like, for me, it was just like, thinking back then, he had a chance. And I was just like, man, like, I'm gonna try to drive him and push him. But then I realized everybody don't have the same drive, the same push. I can't force that upon him, you know what I'm saying? But it just made me fall in love with wanting to teach, wanting to learn. Like Nipsey said, I've been through every emotion, every like phase of like training, like from doing the nonsense that didn't make no sense. Like when you just looking at like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I was able to go through all the phases of that, man, till this point on, you know. So
You know, that was when you said that your escape is in the hoop. And people don't understand, like, when you're into something, it becomes your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It becomes your life. It becomes a getaway.
Yeah.
Because when you're on that court, there is no judgment.
Yeah.
The only thing that's judging is your work ethic.
Work ethic.
That I work hard enough with this ball right here for the basketball gods to repay me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. I remember during the season, and you know, you'd be late, do something dumb, and they write you a fine. Man, I don't care about that fine, man. Right, here's a blank check. Do what you're gonna do. As long as I can still play, I don't give a what y'all talking about over there. But you take my time, oh man, depression kicks in. Depression kicks in, you know, and I remember something like AB, when, you know, when Antonio Brown, you know, and they took football away from him and he's spiraling. And I'm just like, what did y'all expect? What did you expect? You took his getaway away. So all the drama that's outside, he gets to go in that field and not think about it. So now that he doesn't have the field, this is all he has to do is think. And that's what happens. That's what's happening right now with COVID. These kids don't have nowhere to release and get away from, you know, just life itself. You know, this is the only thing, sports is the only thing that you can be obsessed with. And it pays you for it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I can really be obsessed with this and it rewards me. You know what I mean? Which is opposite of what we're taught in life.
And it's crazy that you said that because like I work with guys all the time and like you talk to like even with the development of youth and you try to figure out with parents and stuff. They're like, oh no, my son loved the game. I was like, yeah, there's a difference. He loves it. I'm obsessed with it. Like, and I think when you find that obsession, like it's different, bro. Like you want to watch film at night. You want to get up, put the extra work in. You know what I'm saying? So like when you find that obsession, that's when you start really finding like, I think your son has that, bro. Like for real, though. I remember guys used to tell me sometimes like, oh man, it's either you have it or you don't. And I never understood what that meant till like I got older and I was able to see it through other kids. And I'm like, it's just the love behind it and how much time they're willing to spend. I got certain dudes, your son is one of them, like you gotta push him out the gym, like go home. I'm trying, no, I don't want to.
I don't want to go home.
Closing the door and his head gets, I'm like, bro, go home. Like they just love it that much. It's that obsession that really drives you through trying to be the best and really wanting to be, you know, one of those guys.
But what you were, back to your story, going to that kid going to the gym at Seton Hall, you gotta have a reason for that. And it can be something you wanna fit in with those kids or you wanna be out of the house or you want your own identity. What was that for you?
For me going up there, it wasn't about fitting in with nobody. It was just more of like, bro, I was alone. Like I'm in the house alone. So I lived out, I was away from my family. I lived with a friend out there. I mean, he worked all the time. I never really saw him. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just being in the house alone. And every day that was just like, man, this was my one time to interact, hoop, play ball. So like, it was just went from just being alone in there. I'm like, man, I gotta hoop. I gotta do something. You know what I'm saying?
And you think about, not to cut you off,
No,
but
good.
you think about Brooklyn, right? You think about cities, place like that. That's a great thing for a kid to discover basketball because there's other roads you can go down that aren't
for
so
real.
good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's really one of the best things sports can give you too is an outlet, a healthy
for
outlet.
sure.
It's like, man, you can never fault that kid. He's just playing basketball, minding his own business, you know, not getting into trouble.
Yeah, and I feel like some guys abuse that though. Like now you're talking about healthy outlet. Some guys abuse it and make it unhealthy in the sense of doing the wrong things, taking the wrong things from people, like putting themselves, using the fact that they're really good to just kind of like take advantages of situations. Like I've seen young kids.
I mean, you're gonna have, and this is the bad part, you're gonna have corruption behind.
Yeah, that's the
anything that goes. Youth sports, you're gonna have someone trying to get over on the athletes.
Yeah.
Someone seeing, okay, this kid might be a lottery. Let me figure out how I can get paid on. You're gonna have that.
Yeah.
Just as parents, you just gotta be smart. You gotta do your research. You gotta, and it's hard to tell a parent who's open-minded.
Yeah.
And what I mean open-minded is you're allowing everything to come in when you should be closing everything off. You should be wary about anyone who's coming in. You should be, you shouldn't be just opening yourselves up to everyone.
Like, I get times where I gotta tell parents like, man, just be his dad. Like just be his dad sometimes. Like, because it's more than just the basketball training, you wanna like you said, make sure you do your research, you get good advice on certain situations. And you now you even selling the fact of like almost being like a mentor, counselor to these kids, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you got to show them, and people can feel that when you care for them, like, so you want to also try to show the kid, like, I'm not just working you out, I'm here, I care for you, I care about how you feel off the court, like what's going on in your life. Like that for me, I think that was like a step in my growth in working with people, like trying to figure out like what's going on with you, how's your day, like what's going on at home, like you know what I'm saying? Like I was able to like pick up on body language. Like now I'm more like feeling a person out, like different. Like it's not about just you come in the gym. I could come in, I'd be like, okay. Like now I'm like your therapist. Like I'm like, yo,
I was gonna say, think about that. Yeah. No one has a better connection than the position you're in because head coach has so much on their plate and they're just makes, you good? Okay. And then, or what message do I have to deliver you? Then I'm out. Where you're front row seat and you're having, one-on-one conversations, DMs, texts at all hours, Yeah, I mean, that's really a part of the job. Maybe you didn't even sign on for that.
I didn't sign on, but
what's funny is you don't sign on, but you inherit it because what ends up happening is if you have the same kids every day, you're gonna get a different mood every single day. And as a trainer, you're gonna have to pick up on it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because just the body language, as soon as he walks in, you can tell what type of day this is about to be. You can tell like, I'm gonna have to push a little bit harder. He don't even feel like he even wants to work today. You know what I mean? He got some energy today. I can push him a little bit more. You know what I mean? So you'd be like, okay, maybe I might take it easy on him today. He got the gloss in his eyes, like he just finished crying or something. Like you have to really pick up on that and read that because you can be adding to the problem.
It's a problem, yep.
Like he already having mental problems and he's already lost. And then now you wanna, dude, why you ain't listening? Why you ain't making shots? And you're just adding to
it's crazy, man, because like I've had days where guys come in, I can feel it. And I'm like, yo, we're gonna go light. Like we'll go light, we get you in and out of here. He'd be like, my man. Like even with the Sparks, like there's days where I'm in there and I can tell how my girls are feeling, my ladies are feeling on the body movement. Like, man, it's been a rough week, man. Or I'm just mentally not. We're gonna go like get you now. Thank you, Dash. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like definitely being able to relate and understand how someone is feeling is huge in developing as well. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of teachers, like film from D Fish, him showing me the progression, the fundamentals of building the proper base for people. You just show me like, hey, how do I take this and place it in the right situation as I'm playing? Like, where would players get their moves off or what situations? You know what I'm saying? So like all these things, Rashad McCann's footwork, like it was just so many great teachers that I found here, man, like in California, man, that I just I didn't have access to in New York.
And those two things I want to jump in on real quick is, first of all, what Samaki's message to you is the fundamentals. Because people need to understand that is, you can get to point D, but you got to get A, B, C down.
Yes.
And the importance of that is what?
I mean, the importance, because I remember Kyrie Irving said something funny one day. He said, you learn the fundamentals to forget them, right? And almost in the sense of like, it's like learning how to walk, right? Once you learn how to walk, you'll never got to think about it anymore, right? So like the fundamentals is like learning how to walk. Like you master the simples, left, right, touch, form, shoot your shot, footwork into certain things. Once you master that, that shouldn't be thought about when you play anymore. I don't think about walking. When I get up and I leave this interview, I'm gonna get up and walk out the door. I'm not be like, oh, which first goes first when I walk out this door? Like, no, I'm just gonna leave the door. So like for me, it's just like, bro, like those things are supposed to come organic. That's why it's so important to master the fundamentals so they can become natural to you, and then everything you're just doing is instincts. You know what I mean? You just off instincts.
Like when it comes to fundamentals, and it's like you have two worlds, right? Yeah, it was two worlds before. It's back to two worlds. You had, you had the white basketball player who didn't have any athleticism, who was fundamentally sound. So that means he needed to learn his footworks to get by the really athletic
guys,
right? Now, what ended up happening is the white basketball player became athletic. He became athletic, and he became the same. And then the European, the Lucas, and they became the fundamentally sound players. Now, the reason fundamentals are necessary. It's like being in traffic with a Lamborghini or Prius. Yeah, you can beat the Prius in a straight up race, but through traffic, the Prius has an advantage. So what ends up happening is Luka has the advantage over anyone who's guarding him because these guys are too athletic for this part of the game.
Yes.
For this part of
that part, bro.
Open court.
Open court, you got him. Yeah.
Half court where you have to be disciplined. You never learned it. So these basic moves that get you to think I'm gonna go that way, to come back this way, you overplaying it, pump fake, you're jumping, foul. Next time, pump fake, you stop, okay. Like, so he plays the puppet master game with you. And that's what fundamentals are important, especially at a younger age, because you need the fundamentals before your athleticism kick in. Before the athleticism kick in and the athleticism takes over. You need to learn how to use.
It's funny because I was like, man, if I ever have a kid, man, I was like, that's the first thing I'm teaching my kid.
Because
like,
you gotta.
I'm not worried about all that other stuff. Like that's gonna come.
The first thing you need to teach him is his footwork before his jumping ability. Because you gotta remember, once a person can jump and dunk, that's all he wants to do. So now he doesn't want to learn the 1-2 pump 1-2. He don't want to learn that no more. He wants to just rocket ship out.
I watch a lot of young kids that are super athletic and fast, and slowing stuff down for them, super hard for them. It's just like they almost want to pull their hair. Like,
and it's boring. And it becomes boring. It's boring, man. When we gonna get to the moves? Like,
I'm like,
no,
fellas,
you don't need.
Like,
hold on. If you learn how to do all of this, everything becomes easier.
Yes.
It becomes so much easier if you actually learn how to use your footwork. Understand that when you go right, he has to drop this leg. Once he drops this leg, you can change directions. If you get too far away from him and he speeds up, pump fake, he's gonna jump automatically. You know what I mean? If you're down 2, like this is part of fundamentals too.
Yes.
If you're down 2, what did that coach tell his team? No 3. Fundamentals is understanding the other side too.
And it's crazy that you said that and you went to the brain part of it. And I remember telling the kid the other day, we went down the floor twice, right? And it worked throwing it inside. Twice. Third time down, his thing was, I ain't get a shot. So I'm gonna take one now. Get blocked. I'm like, what are you thinking? And this is what I told him. I was like, listen, bro, you might not ever be the tallest guy, the fastest guy, jump the highest, but you can always, this right here, bro. Like if you get this down and you start understanding, and that's what you just touched on right there, right? Like just understanding, okay, situation, clock, time management.
Time management.
Like I'm down 2. Like how is this guy guarding me? What kind of defenders in front of me? All those things are a part of fundamentals. Like,
yes.
Like okay, do you like playing with your hands a lot, or do you play back off? Like how do you guard me? Okay, I'm not playing with you tonight because I know you were scrappy, waiting for me to change direction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go right by you, float. Or do you just give me like all those things I try to tell guys tap into? And the funny thing is, like when I train and I teach guys, I always talk about these things because there are some things you just cannot get in drills, bro.
Can't.
Like you just won't get it in drills, and you just gotta understand situations. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, and that's connected to what you're saying for Samaki and then for Gil's point of view. So it's what to do and where to use it.
Yeah, the game is it has so many layers, and trying to get kids to understand those layers early is the difficult part because all they want to do is just play. And I said, playing is cool, but either you're gonna make it easy or you can make it hard. Like I tell kids, I said, how much you trying to average? Yeah, I'm trying to average like 20. And I'd be like, man, that's easy. I said, all you need is a layup, jumper, and 1 free throw. Every quarter. And I said, I want you to think about it. 1 jumper, 1 layup, 1 free throw, every quarter, got you 20 points. And they be sitting there like, no one's investing in knowledge.
Yes, bro.
No one's investing in knowledge. If you was a high school standout and you're a coach, your information is only high school.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you said that, right? Invest in knowledge. I remember he said something to me years ago. We in the gym, man, and he goes like, man, I don't know what y'all selling. Like, y'all selling drills, man. I know what I'm selling. I'm selling information. Like, and I was like, oh, snap. And now you over here
y'all
selling drills. I'm selling information. Yeah. So, like, I'm like, yo, he was right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, man, nobody's invested in information. Like, as young dudes, and it's crazy, right? Because, like, when I said I've been through every phase of it, I'd be like, I'll watch another young guy coming up training, and I'd be like, damn. I used to look like that. I used to look. I was like, yeah, ain't gonna be no information there. But what I realized, but then I started realizing, like, yo, bro, like, we could come in here and we could focus on 2-3 things, bro, and we could get the best out of our situation because we're gonna really lock in on the details and the information of it and go home. Mm-hmm. Instead of you just in there, you did 1,000 different things, all just.
None of it
none of it stuck.
You know, it's so funny, and when we grew up on, you know, don't ask us questions, just do what I say. No, that is wrong.
That's wrong.
No, that is wrong.
Hey, question me.
Question everything. Question why. Why are we calling this plays? What is I need to know what if I'm an extension of you, I want to know what you're thinking about.
Yes.
Because I might see something different since I'm actually on the court.
Yeah.
And I remember that was my thing when I came. I used to ask Eddie Jordan, why? Why? I did a pick and roll, they switch. Why do you want me to pass it to the big man? Mm-hmm. And he'll say, you pass it to the big man because there's a guard on him. Mm-hmm. Okay, keep going. What happens after that? They're gonna double, and then what happens? He's gonna kick it to me. Okay, I'm gonna kick it. Okay, he's gonna kick it, and then look who's over there, a non-shooter. So we did a pick and roll. The mismatch. See, old school says that's the mismatch, and I said that's not the mismatch because a double comes with that. That is not the mismatch. The mismatch is right here now. I have the big man on me, which is the fastest player in the league. Mm-hmm. If I take him to the hole, who's guarding the basket when I get there? No one, because the guard switched on to my big man. Worst case scenario, I give it to my big man for the easy dump off.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a foot race at the rim between me and the big because they don't have anybody back there to guard it.
Yep.
So the best play is me taking advantage of this big. It took years for the guards to realize, wait a minute, I'm not gonna pass it to him down there. What's happening? And that's what this game is. Because I remember Charles Barkley said, when did it become the guard takes the big man? When we got smart and started asking questions on why. Yeah. I used to ask, why you keep subbing me out at the end of the quarter with 3 minutes left in the game? Yeah. What's the point of that? To get you some rest. But we in a penalty. I got fouled 5 times to get us to the penalty, no free throws. Now you're taking me out during butter time. This is when I get to eat. Now he can't guard me now. No. He can't foul me. He can't pick me up full court because every foul, I get to walk all the way down here to shoot a free throw. So you shouldn't take your most aggressive player out until the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you sub me out, sub you in, you getting warm, right? You ain't aggressive. You're not gonna get aggressive until the top of the second anyway. Yep. So you just wasted 2-3 minutes of getting to that free throw line. So Westbrook wouldn't leave that court until the end of the quarter. James Harden wouldn't leave that court to the end of the quarter. KD, LeBron, 8. I'm not taking my best players out until the top of the quarter because you fouled them the whole time with no penalty. Now your ass get penalized for touching my man.
Yep.
But a coach don't know that. Why? Because the person who taught him didn't know that. The person who taught him didn't know that. You know what I mean? So it's like knowledge.
And you know, so crazy that you said all that. Like, and I think for a lot of as I watch, because I'm watching, so I'm in a seat, I'm in a position. That's why I love where I'm at right now. I'm in a position where I get to watch mistakes, see what people do, and I'm growing, right? And it's funny that you said that. That's like, I can tell you're someone that, like, on the fly, you was, oh, snap, we on the fly. Most guys don't know how to do that on the fly. Game going on, they just stuck into like what they have in the book. Like, we doing this. And this minute, Gilbert's supposed to come out.
Dash,
like,
you're saying they're not thinking.
Yes.
That's a really important thing.
I'm telling you, they're not. Like, I've watched,
it's
I've
coaching,
been around
like,
it.
Well, I'll say this. That was you said you grew up like that, right? This is current generation.
No, I grew up like that.
You say you grew up for coaches said it's my way or the highway kind of coaches.
That's
right?
just coaching, yeah,
but
period.
Dash, you would know this. This next wave, these kids now, they are asking why. They're asking a lot of questions.
No, they still don't know. They still don't know because you got to remember the people who are coaching them. Who taught them? No one. You got to remember who taught them didn't ask questions. Who taught them didn't ask questions. So you got a group of people who are doing the same thing. They're reading. 2 minutes up. All right, sub in. Sub in. Yeah. Like, no, stop that.
And that's why for me, coming to California was huge. It was bigger than just basketball. Like, I really wanted to get the best information. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like all the best players was out here.
Yeah.
So, like, you get what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, like, all the guys that played in the league, from coaches, from everybody, they all live here. So for me, I was just like, man, in order to get the best information, like, I'm chasing information even to this day. Like, I'm gonna leave here today understanding that he thought, like, man, like, we just got into the, you know what I'm saying? We in the bonus, you taking me out. Like, no, leave me in right now. And it's funny because I think like that. Because for me, I'm already thinking, like, when I work with guys and I coach guys and we do our little runs in the evenings and stuff with my younger guys, I use them, I practice. How can I help this situation in the moment? Because growing up watching a lot of coaches, I realized in the moment of stuff, they don't know how to adjust. So, like, one thing I've been trying to practice is, like, okay, with my young kids and I got them, I'm like, okay, I want to learn how to adjust in that moment. Like, see, oh, nah, we going here. Oh, nah, look, we got this right now. Okay, they taking away this. Oh, we going to this. You know what I'm saying? And when I tell a lot of my players and my point guards, I'm like, don't worry about the skill work because you worked on it to forget it. Just worry about what you see in front of you. That stuff is gonna come organically. And that's where when you stop worrying about what move you're gonna hit a person with, you could get into that other side of what Gil is talking about as far as like thinking now. Okay, boom. Oh, I got the switch. Oh, I'm taking him. Oh, now we in the penalty. Oh, now I'm gonna just run at him all day. He probably never even thought of any of his moves.
Never.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
What's
Like,
so funny? What's so funny? Me and
not-
Kyrie was talking, and I said, you know, what do you watch? And he said the same thing. I watch the big man. Because you perfected your skill to the point where the person in front of you doesn't even exist. So my whole thing was I need to watch how good is his backline defense. Yeah. He's irrelevant. This person, I don't give a who he is.
Yeah.
He's irrelevant. Who's his help?
The great ones. They know these things, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can prepare different. Like when the first few games when Braun had like not that much points, everybody like, man, then he just shake you up the next two. He knows how to shake you up.
He's playing chess.
He knows how to shake you up. And that's why at this age he can still dominate. He take care of his body really well, for one. And he just, like he said, he just knows how to play. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you this tonight.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy? I seen a young kid do this one time. I never forget it. And that's when I really learned. This kid named Javon Quinley. He went to the basket one time and this big dude was coming, right? And he literally just let him block it. Just literally. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Why would you just let him block it? I just want to see what kind of defender he is. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the day had him the whole game. The whole time. Oh, got you. Oh, stupid. I'm just looking at him like, yo, this dude is crazy.
Yeah, but it's funny. That's a smart kid. I want to see what kind of defender he is. Is he active? Is he lazy? But that is a kid who's gonna excel.
Yes, bro. And I'm like, yo, this kid is crazy. I've never seen and literally told me why. He's like, because in my head, I'm like, yo, come on, bro. At that point, I'm like, hey, and he just taught me something that day. And he was just like, nah, I got it. It's cool. Let him have the block. I don't care, he got a block. Let him have the block.
Boxing rope-a-dope.
Yeah, and then after that, there's no more blocks for him. It was just, where we going?
Because the defense is like, oh, that was easy. Let me go in and smack. Nah, but that's the game you have to play.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
But there's still a chess play when your time get in. You don't think Lou Williams has the chess match when he gets in? You gotta remember, when he gets in, he's coming into the penalty. So if you take Lou's game and you put it in the first 5 minutes of the game, don't make sense. The moves you're doing is erratic.
It's not effective.
You take him and you put him in his element.
Yeah.
Genius,
bro.
Because it's all contact moves.
Got you, foul.
Foul.
And the funny thing is, you be looking at it, right? Yo, as soon as he come in, he at the line.
He's at the line. As soon as he
because what you said earlier, they in the penalty.
He's in the penalty. So he's designed his game for this moment. And that's what the next level, you're perfecting your moments. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, between Steph and Dame Lillard, their whole game plan is around one shot. Dame, his first shot is a long three. And the reason he's gonna shoot a long three is he needs to set the tone of the defense.
Yep.
So if he shoots right in front of the three, that means the defender now has to mark that as his shot. Yep. Not the regular three-point line, waiting there, and the court's compact. No. You have to now pick him up here. Now that pick and roll is here. Now he has all of this real estate. Now he has all this running room against a big man.
Yep.
Same thing with Curry. I need to set this line here so the defense starts here. That is part of their chess match.
Yeah.
That's why you see him. He comes in, first play, launch it. Make or miss, it don't matter. He needs to dictate this line
That's
now.
yeah.
He needs to dictate this line now so now he has all this real estate to just do whatever he wants because the defense is there now.
Oh, Dash, I'll ask you this, and this is a football term, stretch the defense. Those guys can do that.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. So kids say, oh, I'm going to do what Dame does, pull up from the logo. And how do you walk that back to the fundamentals? Like, whoa, let's get this down. Just catch and shoot for now.
You're right, 'cause whatever they do see, they be trying.
Yo, and that's the tough part, man. And like for me, like that's where as a teacher of the game, you have to learn how to separate it. And like I don't teach all levels the same, bro. And you can't. One, I'm gonna tell you why, me personally. The rules are different. So you gotta also understand what you're preparing a kid for what rules he's playing against. And for me, it's just like you, and that goes back to the fundamentals. Once you learn how to master, like me and you had a conversation about this. Like, you might not be a rookie in this moment, but like you got to go back to being a rookie when you hit the league, right? So it's like you got to master this situation you're in before you could even worry about that situation. So, right, because that situation, once you master it, that's what gives you the ability to even get to this situation.
I want to shift gears here, Gil, is we want to get into the men's game and the women's game. Okay. And Dash, for you, your role with the Sparks, you have a front row seat of that where you're actively involved in that because you're working with boy players, we'll call them boys, young men, and then the women in the WNBA. So what's the most common misconception about men versus women basketball players?
That they only just keep things fundamentally sound. Like they don't got no style. I got it. When I went there, man, like they're not that athletic. I mean, yeah, they not jumping and doing the crazy dunks, but yo, we got a girl on our team. She about 5'7", bro. She might be faster than dudes. Raquana Williams, super fast. I seen her grab the rim in practice. I lost it. Forget dunking it. If you're 5'7", you're a woman, and you just grab the rim. Like, I was like, yo, the aggressive, the speed of her. I was like, nah, bro, like these girls can hoop. Then I look at Chelsea Gray. You get her going. She's strong. They talking. They passing. They talking smack just like guys do. Like, you know, and it's funny because like, you look at it like, oh, they just fundamentally sound and they just got to do it the right way. But like, no, bro, they got real game. Like, they make real reads just like guys do. Chelsea be out there looking like Magic Johnson mixed with Chris Paul. Like, you know, you just got to go. Once you sit in it, you start really seeing it for yourself. You're like, damn. But I think we're at a point where like the game doesn't get enough attention. So it's hard for you to even see the things because you're not even watching it, right? So if I go watch guys play all the time, of course I know they dunk. I'd be like, man, I watch all the time. That's easy to see that that's what they do because I'm watching it consistently. But if I'm not watching female, like women's basketball, WNBA consistently, like it's hard for me to see like, damn, like these girls really got handled. They really got jump shots. They really got moves because they do, like, you know? And I think that's one of the biggest things, thinking like, oh man, it's boring. Like, I think it's.
You know what's so funny? It's the advertising.
Yeah.
And
I could see that.
And I don't think they advertise the talent the way they should. So if we say, all right, who's our favorite players? Right? Dame, Kyrie, Curry, Kemba Walker. Oh, so guards that are not athletic like that, that fundamentally sound and skilled.
Yep.
Well, that's everyone over here.
Yeah,
that's everyone over here. If we had a shooting contest, I guarantee you, if we take 10 and 10, you'll have a few girls in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have a bunch of
That's
steps.
one thing they do really well.
You have a bunch of steps.
Yeah.
But because of the rules, and I don't know who runs the WNBA, but I know if I ran it, rules would be changed, and the rules will follow exactly how the men's did it.
Yeah.
Speed your game up. You got to remember, you have shooters, dribblers, passers, But because it's still this lock grit game, those players don't get to excel.
Yeah.
Like your Diana Taurasi, that's Harden right there. That's Harden. That's Dame. That's someone coming down who can literally give you 50 every night, but you handicapping her to 30 because of the rules. You're handicapping, your Candaces to these numbers. You're handicapping them to the rule. But that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's
you
the
know what I'm
rules.
saying?
They change the
Yeah.
rules up. Like Steve Nash. People don't understand. The Steve Nash MVP, you didn't even know who he was until a rule was changed. The reason he was traded, they didn't think he was worth $54 million. $54 million for Steve Nash. They went and got Jason Terry because he was younger. He was over the hill, is what they said. Traded him, or he signed to Phoenix. They changed hand touching to tactile. So you can, boom, let it off.
Tap,
Yeah, you can only tap. You couldn't keep it on for 2 seconds, tap it.
Tap off, yeah.
Now you gave skinny white guy with all the skill and shooting ability and passing ability in the world, all the freedom. Oh, you guys can't hold. Your athleticism means nothing. Your strength means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Pick and roll time. What's happening? Backdoor dunk. Floater, off leg floater, three in the corner. Now he becomes MVP.
Yeah.
All because of a little rule, and that's what I see the girls' game missing. That you're taking away their actual skill.
And they're so skilled. Like
That's what I'm saying. It's skill.
Bro, they're actually really skilled because they have to be more skilled because of the fact that they're not as athletic.
That's
right?
what I said. You have to be more
they're
skilled.
Well, I was
really
gonna say,
skilled.
to explain that, the difference between the men and women, what are they more skilled at?
I mean,
Shooting,
shooting,
thinking.
passing, thinking. Bro,
So
I'm gonna just be real. Like,
Like,
they can think, bro. They're smart, bro. Like, they really think the game.
All right, Dash, we covered a lot of ground here today. From where you came from to what you're working on, the importance of knowledge and fundamentals, also how the WNBA can level up.
Yeah.
What we got to do is we got to ask some questions of Gil. So what do you got for Ask Agent Zero?
Oh, man. Like, I think I kind of asked him a little earlier. Just, just that line between, like, trying to win and use your teammates to win, but still at the same time also understanding it's a business, numbers, being able to, like, I see a lot of guys do certain things just because they want to be able to get that contract for next year, things like that. And just kind of like, how do you manage that? Like,
it's I call it the Westbrook theory. Like, and the reason I say Westbrook is, there was, when he was averaging the triple doubles, right? And people's like, oh, he's stat chasing, right? And it blew my mind because the stats you say he's chasing are hustle stats. You're saying he's hustling rebounds. I hope I will have 5 players trying to do the same thing he's doing.
Yeah.
Hustling, trying to get rebounds. You know what I mean? But who am I as a coach to say, hey, listen, you're playing too hard. I don't need you to average a triple-double. Dial it down a little bit. So now I just told this player, don't play to the best of your ability. Play half of it to give someone else a chance to do what you're doing, but not just as good. Listen, whatever you are capable of doing, do it.
yeah.
Because that's gonna give your team the best chance of winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can score and you're the best scorer and you can score 100, there's gonna be some times where making passes to relieve pressure is the smartest play.
Yeah.
Like if I'm coming in and he keeps sucking it, I gotta make that pass. Make it, shoot it, make it. Good. Now when I go back in, he's not there.
Yeah.
So being an offensive player, you have to understand that. Defense, hey, No one ever says, oh man, he's stat chasing defense and steals and stuff. Like he always want to guard the best player so he can get recognized as a defensive player. Nobody does that. Nah. He takes the challenge to be that stopper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Do what you do to the best of your ability. Don't worry about nobody else's job. Worry about your job and make sure you're doing it. Yeah. Because if you're doing your job, you're giving your team the best opportunity to win. And winning comes the bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to chase it. Look, work on your skill, perfect your skill. That's gonna come no matter what.
Yeah.
And when it comes, trust me.
And I feel like guys try to go for it so differently. Like, man, I gotta get these numbers so I can get this bag. Like, but no, like you just said, winning, doing it, do what you do best, playing hard or whatever the case may be, like, and just let it come through that.
Yeah, like you look like Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Draymond Green has put himself as a Hall of Famer, didn't chase no numbers. Because he knew, listen, you score. Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure all y'all are happy. So, all right, since you're not gonna give him the ball, set a screen, give it to me, boom, dive, give it to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll be the glue and glue all these things together.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a max contract. I'm not a max player, but because I play my role with you three perfectly makes me that valuable.
No, that's for sure. Yep.
There it is.
There it is, man.
Know your value.
Know your value.
Be valuable. All right, well, we're going to get on this Dash one for the road. I just got to say, we've known your work has evolved over the years, and the progression is a beautiful thing to watch. And we've been talking about, where the women's game is going to go, and you're a part of that movement. In your work, we're going to see the results. So.
No,
yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Man,
God, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
And keep coming to Gil for that, for those cheat codes.
Oh yeah, man. He always got them.
He's the ultimate.
He's learning it himself too. You know what I mean? He's learning himself. As I remember we was talking about, I was like, because I asked him, what's the difference? Because you know me, like I don't know everything about everything. It's like, what's the difference between the girls and the men? And he said this. I remember he said, to be honest, everything I knew about basketball from the man's standpoint, I had to throw it out. I had to throw out all this information and had to relearn this game. To understand how they had to deal with high school, college, here, because it's not the same road. So I had to understand it so I knew how to train them. And I was like, I had to start over again? Oh, man. You had to start from the zero? He's like, you got to.
You have
because
to, bro.
This is a different game, so you have to learn the basics going all the way to see why they are the way they are.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, there you go.
0 to hero.
Oh, I forgot about that slogan.
There you have it.
0 to hero.
For Agent Zero, for Dash, I'm Mike Botticello. This has been No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 p.m. on Fubo, and we'll see you next time.